I've always been proud of being a hardened horror fan. I genuinely thought I was desensitized. I've seen it all. The classics, the slashers, the ghost stories, and nothing really got to me anymore. So, I decided to put that to the test. I watched the 10 most notoriously disturbing films ever made, back to back. This is the story of what that did to my head, and why one film in particular, Martyrs, almost made me give up completely. The rules were simple. 10 films, pulled from countless most disturbing lists, forums, and discussions on extreme cinema. I'd watch them in one continuous block, with only tiny breaks for, basic human needs. I wanted to find out what happens when you mainline the most taboo-breaking and psychologically damaging stuff the horror genre has to offer. Does it break you, or do you just go numb? A lot of you come to this channel for recommendations, for a friendly guide through the horror landscape. Well, this time, I became your guinea pig. I stared into the abyss, so you wouldn't have to. And what I found down there wasn't just shocking images or cheap gore. It was a deeply unsettling journey into the darkest parts of the human mind. And I can tell you right now, it changed my relationship with movies forever. This isn't a review series. This is a survivor's testimony. Film 1, Possessor, 2020. I kicked off the marathon with Brandon Cronenberg's Possessor. This was a strategic choice. It's a newer film, praised for being smart and stylish, not just for its shock value. It's a brilliant, chilling slice of sci-fi horror about an assassin who hijacks people's bodies to carry out hits. The horror here isn't just the violence, which is sudden and brutal, but the terrifying idea of losing your identity, your very self. It's a movie about the self eroding, where the lines between the killer and her host blur into a nightmare of melted faces and fractured minds. It felt like the right place to start, almost too clean and clinical. It attacks the mind, and it set a high bar for psychological dread, but it felt manageable. It was the perfect film to lull me into a false sense of security. Film 2, Excision, 2012. Next up was Excision. And this is where the vibe of the whole experiment started to change. This isn't sleek sci-fi. It's a grotesque and tragic story about teenage alienation and severe mental illness. The film follows Pauline, a disturbed high schooler who dreams of becoming a surgeon. These dreams play out in surreal, stylish, and incredibly gory sequences. What makes Excision so disturbing is how it mashes up dark comedy, body horror, and a genuinely sad family drama. You watch Pauline's descent, her desperate and twisted attempts to get her mom's approval, and you just feel this sick knot in your stomach because you know it's all heading somewhere awful. The last scene is one of the most gut-wrenching and heartbreaking endings I have ever seen. It's not about monsters, it's about a family completely failing to see a mind that is breaking apart. It left me feeling hollowed out with a deep sadness that was way more uncomfortable than the conceptual horror of Possessor. Film 3, I Saw the Devil, 2010. Just as I was reeling from that tragedy, I dove headfirst into the abyss of revenge with Kim Ji-woon's masterpiece, I Saw the Devil. This South Korean thriller is a relentless, and I mean relentless, cat-and-mouse game between a secret agent and the serial killer who murdered his fiancée. But this film asks a terrifying question. What happens when you become a monster to destroy a monster? The agent doesn't just want to kill the psychopath. He wants to make him suffer, to drag out the terror. So he captures, tortures, and releases the killer over and over again. It's a vicious cycle that just creates more victims and pushes our hero further into a moral black hole. The violence is expertly filmed, but it's also stomach-churningly brutal. It's a movie that shows you how pointless vengeance really is, leaving you with the haunting idea that an eye for an eye doesn't just leave everyone blind, it leaves them soulless. The final shot of the agent walking away, broken and weeping, says it all. He won nothing. I felt this deep sense of despair, realizing the next 7 films were probably going to drag me even deeper. Film 4, The Human Centipede 2, full sequence, 2011. Okay, this was one I was actively dreading. The first film is a gross concept, but the second one is something else entirely. It's shot in black and white and follows a depraved, disturbed parking garage attendant who is so obsessed with the first movie that he decides to make his own full sequence with 12 people. It's meta, it's self-aware, and it is utterly disgusting. While the first film had a cartoonish villain, this film's antagonist is grounded in a grimy, pathetic reality that makes his actions feel so much worse. The movie isn't just about the physical horror. It's about wallowing in filth and human misery. It's designed to be repulsive, to test the absolute limits of what a person can stomach. And I'll admit, it tested mine. This was the first film where the psychological pressure of the marathon started to feel physical. I felt sick, grimy, like I needed to take a shower for my soul. The art was gone. This was just pure, unfiltered ugliness on screen. Film 5, Cannibal Holocaust, 1980. Halfway there, it was time to face a legend. Cannibal Holocaust is infamous. Its reputation as a snuff film precedes it. It's the granddaddy of the found footage genre and easily one of the most controversial movies ever made. It's about a film crew that vanishes in the Amazon while documenting a tribe of cannibals and the footage they left behind that shows what happened to them. The film is a surprisingly powerful critique of media exploitation, arguing that the civilized filmmakers were the real monsters all along, but its methods are what make it so hard to watch. The real-life animal killings are inexcusable and cast a dark shadow over the whole thing. Beyond that, the film's blend of fake and real horror creates a queasy authenticity that few movies have ever matched. Watching it felt less like watching a movie and more like witnessing a crime. It was morally and emotionally exhausting. Film 6, Inside, 2007. If Cannibal Holocaust was exhausting, Inside was a full-blown assault. This film is a classic of the new French Extremity movement, known for its brutal, unflinching violence. The setup is terrifyingly simple. A pregnant woman, still grieving her late husband, is attacked in her home on Christmas Eve by a strange woman who wants her unborn baby. What follows is 80 minutes of the most sustained, claustrophobic, and merciless terror I have ever seen. There is no break, no moment to breathe. The violence isn't cool or stylized. It's raw, bloody, and agonizingly personal. It feels real in the worst way possible. Inside takes the home invasion genre and cranks it to its absolute limit, ending with a finale so bleak it just leaves you stunned. At this point, my nerves were completely shot. The constant tension was becoming a physical weight. My heart was pounding, and a real sense of dread for what was next started to creep in. Film 6, Nekromantik, 1987. After the non-stop horror of Inside, I switched gears to something that was just conceptually repulsive. Nekromantik is a film made to break one of society's biggest taboos. It's a low-budget German movie about a guy who cleans up bodies from accident scenes and decides to bring a corpse home for him and his girlfriend. The film is as disgusting as it sounds, but it's also strangely artistic. It has this grimy punk rock vibe and treats its subject with a weird, morbid sincerity. It's not trying to be a typical horror movie, it's an art house dare. There are scenes in this film so bizarre and graphic, they are burned into my brain forever. But the feeling it left me with wasn't terror, but a profound sense of unease. It's a movie that makes you wonder where the line between art and just bad taste is. After watching it, the world felt a little colder and a little sicker. The marathon was now taking me to places I really didn't want to be. Film 8, A Serbian Film, 2010. And then there was a Serbian film. This is it. The one with a reputation so toxic it's banned in multiple countries. It's the film that many extreme horror fans will tell you crosses a line, and there's no coming back. They're not wrong. The story follows a retired porn star who, desperate for cash, agrees to star in an art film, only to discover he's been tricked into a world of snuff, necrophilia, and pedophilia. The director claims it's a political allegory. But whatever message it has is completely suffocated by the most depraved, nihilistic violence I have ever seen. This isn't just a movie that's hard to watch. It feels actively evil. It's an act of aggression against the audience. It's engineered to hurt you. Watching it, I didn't feel scared. I felt violated. I felt disgusted with myself for even seeing it. It felt like the end of the line for shock value cinema, a black hole of depravity that offers no light, no hope, and no artistic reason to exist. It left me empty, broken, and deeply depressed. If you've stuck with me this far, you've clearly got a strong stomach. So I have to ask, what's the one film that truly disturbed you? The one that stuck with you for days, weeks, or even years? Let me know in the comments below, and please subscribe if you appreciate this little trip into darkness. I really need to know I'm not alone out here. Now for the film that broke me. Film 9, Martyrs, 2008. You'd think that after A Serbian Film, nothing could be worse. You would be wrong. The 9th film was Pascal Laugier's Martyrs. This is the one I mentioned at the start, the one that almost made me quit. While A Serbian Film is about shock, Martyrs is about suffering. It's another pillar of the new French Extremity, and it's a film of two halves. The first is a brutal story of home invasion and revenge. The second half, that's where the film becomes something else entirely, something far more terrifying. A young woman named Anna helps her friend Lucy get revenge on the family that tortured her as a child. But after things spiral, Anna discovers a secret underground facility. Here, a weird, philosophical cult systematically tortures young women. They believe that by pushing them to the absolute limits of human suffering, they can trigger a transcendent state and create a martyr who can see into the afterlife. Anna is captured, and the film forces you to watch her systematic degradation. It's not the explosive violence of the other movies. It is methodical, clinical, and soul-crushing. You're not just a spectator, you are a witness to an atrocity. The film's core question, what comes after death, is explored through the most horrific way imaginable. The violence isn't for thrills, it's the entire philosophical point of the movie. It suggests the only way to find truth is through unimaginable pain. This idea, combined with the unflinching depiction of Anna's suffering, is what broke me. It's a film that doesn't just assault your senses, it assaults your spirit. It infects you with a sense of hopelessness that is hard to shake. It's a masterpiece of horror, but it's a masterpiece I will never ever watch again. After Martyrs, the 10th and final film was almost a blur. I finished the challenge, but I wasn't the same person who started it. The answer to my original question, am I desensitized, is a loud, almost laughable no. In fact, the exact opposite happened. This experiment resensitized me in the most brutal way. Watching these films back to back creates a cumulative effect. It's a pileup of despair, nihilism, and human cruelty. Being bombarded with that much stress and horror for hours on end, it takes a real toll. My sleep was messed up for weeks. I felt this lingering anxiety and a cloud of depression that was hard to shake. These films, especially the last three, don't just scare you in the moment, they leave a stain on you. A Serbian Film made me feel dirty, but Martyrs made me question the very idea of hope. Its horror is existential. It suggests that the deepest truths are only found through a level of pain that destroys you, and the secret that's revealed is so profound it leads to immediate suicide. That is a terrifying, soul-crushing concept, and it's why that film, above all others, is the one that truly broke me. This experiment taught me that there is a line. It's a different line for everyone, but it exists. I found mine somewhere in a blood-soaked French basement, listening to the whispers of a girl who had seen the other side. Horror is my favorite genre, but it's important to remember that some doors, once you open them, can never really be closed again. I used to be proud of being a hardened horror fan. Now, I'm just a little more careful about which shadows I step into. Myth or reality? Check the comments.